into New York Harbor steams the world's biggest boatload. Yes, it's a day of thrills, the day these GI guys and gals have been dreaming about for long months. Home, sweet home.
Telephone call for Peter Morley. Mr. Morley, please go to telephone near pier entrance. Telephone call for Mr. Morley. Telephone call for Peter Morley. Mr. Morley, please go to telephone near pier entrance. Telephone call for Mr. Morley.
Nasty spill, wasn't it? I saw the whole thing.
That lady again.
Well, thanks, pal. Hello, honey.
Have you talked to your wife yet, dear? Is she off the boat? Maybe it would simplify matters if she just fell overboard.
Oh, that's a fine thing to say about my wife. She couldn't fall overboard now if she wanted to. No. Well,
Now remember, dear, don't become involved with her. Simply get her signature on the divorce consent and come right over here.
Sure, honey. Oh, I'll get her settled the minute I see her. She's as anxious as I am. Yeah. Well, I'll go... Oh, you know I do, honey. Haven't I been proving it to you? Yeah. Well, Oh. Honey, it's Docky. You're raising the gangplank. Oh. Hello? Hello, honey. You all right? No, I mean... No, the ship didn't blow up. I'll tell you about it later. Yeah, goodbye, honey. Goodbye.
What goes on?
Who's in charge of this pier?
I am.
Well, what kind of a phone booth do you call that? Do you realize that the wrong kind of man would sue you for damages? Legally, this is a pure and simple case of res ipsa loquitur.
But what happened?
What happened, he says. I'm standing in the thing and it falls apart.
How could that be?
I don't know, but look at it. Might have killed myself. Just watch it, friends. Don't let those things happen.
Sorry, Mr. Pass holders only.
But I was in here before. I'm a husband.
Hadley?
Go ahead.
McCarthy? Gordon? Henry Key? Stewart? Ainsley? Morgan? DMC? Martin? Robert E?
Mary! Here I am, Mary!
Peter! Hello! Hello! There's my husband.
Lambert? MacArthur? George C.
Yes, ma'am.
Noble?
Kennedy. 067.
Morley?
Mary G.
Devlin?
Well,
Maxey?
I don't quite know how to act. Did you get my letter about the divorce?
yes, I didn't expect it. Oh, Sergeant Denny, this is my husband. The sergeant's my assistant. They said we were to get in the buses. You go right ahead. Yes, ma'am. Glad to meet you, sir. How do you get into this place?
Well, there's a gate right around here.
You look fine. Thin. Trimmed down a bit.
Right. I lost 30 pounds in the Pacific, but I gained most of it back, though.
How do I look?
Well, you look fine. I've got the divorce agreement in my pocket. It seems funny because you're in uniform, I have to get your consent, but...
Milk, Captain? Fresh milk, thank you. Fresh milk.
Hey, Pop! Stinky!
It's wonderful. It's like nectar.
Yeah. Now, look, about the divorce consent...
Hello, son!
Hey, look, can't we go someplace?
Excuse me, Captain Morley?
Yes?
I'm Juergens, Public Relations.
Oh, how do you do? This is my husband, Peter Morley.
Yeah, hello.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Jones, over here. Over here, please. This is wonderful. You know, you've become quite a celebrity. I recognize you from those pictures in Yank. Excuse me, fellas. Do you mind?
Oh, the article on my marital relations work in the Army. I'd say the publicity's gone a bit overboard. Captain Lonelyhearts, they call me.
Fellas, come here.
Isn't that wonderful?
This is a natural. The famous Captain Lonelyhearts comes back from overseas and into the arms of her husband.
Oh, now, wait a minute.
You bashful, Morley?
Well, no,
Morley, arms around your wife. A big smackaroo.
Well, look, we don't go for this kind of publicity.
Oh, give us a break. We got lots to cover.
Come on, you better.
How did you get into this marriage-saving business?
Look,
Lady, will you please get out of the way? I want to get this on film.
It's simply a continuation of my work as a civilian attorney. You're looking at Morley and Morley, attorneys at law.
Now, the smackaroo.
You know,
Come on, do what the man says. Come
Now
on.
the kiss. Fine. Now smile. Smile! That's it. Thank you. Is the lady free to talk, Captain?
I'll give you all that information later. Captain Morley must check in for processing. Thanks a lot, Captain. You're going to get into one of those buses.
I know. Come on, Peter. Goodbye, boys.
Goodbye. Thank you.
That second bus, Captain.
Thank you.
but we haven't settled anything. I've got the papers right here in my
Not
pocket.
now. Looking for Morley?
Right here,
Thank
Captain.
you.
This bus.
No, wax only, sir. Yeah, but I have something very important to say to my wife. I'm sorry, wax only. Well, what'll I see you? Well, when are you going to be free?
I don't know.
Yeah, but...
All you can do is wait for me at the apartment.
Nasty spill, wasn't it? I saw the whole thing.
Yeah, just a minute, I'm coming.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
I have no key.
Oh, you find one in your dressing table drawer. I'll take it back.
Oh, thanks.
I've got my gear all packed. They gave me such short notice about your arrival that I didn't have a chance to get out.
Peter, you know, it almost seems as though we'd never been away, doesn't it?
Yeah. Darling,
Yes, dear.
I've been making a list of our assets for the settlement. You never cared much for the beach house anyway, so I thought I'd take it and you could have the apartment here. Is that fair enough?
You called me darling a moment ago. Why?
I don't know, just force of habit, I guess.
We haven't seen each other for years, and you always called me counselor.
Yeah, that's right, Counselor.
Peter, is there someone else?
Well, even if there were, what difference would that make to you? Have you forgotten that the divorce was your idea?
Yes, back in 1941.
Guess we should have settled this before we enlisted.
Peter, are you sure you want to go through with this?
Well, I'm making it as easy as possible.
We haven't seen each other for so long. Our attitudes might have changed. Are you absolutely sure?
What is this, a cross-examination? I said I wanted to make the separation as simple as possible for you.
Simple. Here I am in the Army teaching quarreling couples how to make marriage work, and you make everything easy by demanding a divorce.
Well, I'm not demanding.
Well, you'd better not. You're likely to get nowhere.
What do you think we ought to do, Counselor?
Won't be in uniform forever, and you're in no hurry. Are you?
Oh, no. But couldn't you take a 6 weeks leave and get a quiet divorce?
No. Whatever's done must be as a last resort. We mustn't destroy the effect of the work that I've done in the Army, you know.
Well, we'll work it out some way, Counselor. Don't worry. Or, you looking for something, Counselor?
Yes, my bag.
Well, I put them in the bedroom.
Isn't something missing there?
Missing? From there? Oh! You were so much prettier than the picture, actually, that I...
That's better.
Counselor, are you doing anything tonight?
Not particularly.
Well, would you have dinner with me?
Are you being nice to a returning serviceman?
Well, there are some things we might want to talk about. May I pick you up at 8?
It would be nice to make an appearance together.
The Moonlight Terrace is still open. You always like that.
All right, Peter.
Fine. I'll store my things someplace now. See you at 8.
Shall we both bring briefcases?
Well, I think you'll be sorry if we don't you?
Hello, Charlie.
I might have known, Mr. Bowler.
What do you mean?
Miss Faye sending me out for champagne and you bringing in flowers?
Elementary, my dear Watson.
Yes, sir.
Why, Peter Morley, you're out of the Army.
Hello. Yes.
Have you moved here?
No.
I see. Calling on some young lady.
Yes. Floors, please. 9.
14. 11, please.
8, please.
Yes, Mr. Morley.
But aren't you married to that lovely Mary, what's her name?
Yes.
How is she?
Well, she's in the Army.
Overseas?
No, not anymore. She just got back from overseas today.
She's still in uniform, I suppose.
Yes. So I'm taking flowers to a sick horse.
8th floor, Mr. Morley.
Darling.
Hello, honey.
You dear. Roses to celebrate. See, it wasn't so difficult, was it?
You mean about Mary?
She signed the papers, didn't she?
Well, no, she didn't.
Why not?
Now, look, believe me, there's nothing to worry about. It's just that, well, we can't rush things. We're up against the Army.
Oh, Peter, you've weakened.
No, honestly.
Oh, then you didn't go about it intelligently.
I tell you, there's nothing to worry about. I'm picking her up at our apartment tonight, and then...
Our apartment?
Well, I mean, her apartment, and then I'm taking her out to dinner, and...
And there's nothing to worry about.
Oh, you just don't have faith in me. I keep telling you, everything's going to be
I have faith in you, but what about her? I don't pretend to be a child, dear. As a woman who's been married, I know something about men, and more about women. I was unhappy once, and you are now. As mature people, we know we could be happy together, but we must act quickly.
That's what I'm trying to do.
But every hour you delay makes the separation more difficult. It also makes me wonder about your sincerity.
Oh, now, honey.
No. You aren't a free man, and we mustn't cheapen ourselves.
What were we up to now?
Peter, please. You mustn't come here again until your wife has consented to the divorce. And that had better be soon.
I tell you, I'll have the papers signed by morning.
Well, I hope so, for both of us. Now you'd better go.
One little kiss.
That's for the future.
You sure smell good.
Remember that. And I won't be waiting forever. What are you doing here?
Hello.
How'd you get in?
My key. Peter lets me stay here whenever I come up from Washington.
Well, I don't mean to be brusque, but would you get out of here?
I'm a client of Mr. Morley. How will he be able to buy pretty things if you drive clients away?
You manage. The door's right over there.
Whatever happened to Gloria?
Glory. Oh. Oh, she... You know.
Now, don't be so modest. It's all quite apparent. Peter met you, and that was the end of Gloria. It wasn't a month ago that he swore she was the one woman in the world.
Of course, Peter told me about Gloria, but I've never met her. Quite pretty, isn't she?
I'd vote for you. Peter's to be congratulated.
Thank you.
Nice fellow in a way. At least he's fun.
Is he?
You're a very serious young lady.
Is that bad?
Now, what if Peter finds someone else later? Could you thank him for nothing and go your way with a smile?
Do you, think that may happen?
Well, it happened to Gloria, didn't it? And a man doesn't change overnight.
Well, I'll face that problem when the time comes.
You poor kid.
Now, if you'll excuse me, Mr.
Lindsay. Jack.
Well, as you can see, I must get dressed, and naturally, you can't stay here tonight.
Naturally.
Goodbye, Mr. Lindsay. I'll tell Peter you were here.
I'll see you again. And may I offer a compliment?
Yes?
I wish I'd met you first.
I believe my daughter's here.
I can assure you I didn't bring her here.
Oh, Mother. Darling, my train was late. You look wonderful. Just as you were before you went away.
The disillusionment comes later.
What's he? A souvenir?
He's a friend of Peter's, Mr. Lindsay.
Oh, so you're a friend of my daughter's husband.
Husband?
Have you heard any good stories lately, Mr. Lindsay?
May I apologize, and please don't believe a word I said.
Young man, how long have you known Captain Morley?
Captain?
I'm a wife, Mr. Lindsay. Don't be too concerned about what you told me. Peter and I have been separated for years.
Oh. Well.
I believe you have a key.
Oh, that.
So Peter never told you he had a wife from whom he was separated?
Of course. You're the Morley of Morley and Morley.
Nicely put. Thanks. Now that Peter doesn't live here any longer, you might find it embarrassing to have me running in and out of the apartment at all hours.
I'll find a hotel room with the aid of a small miracle.
By the way, Mr. Lindsay, what are you doing tonight?
Why, nothing.
Peter and I are having dinner at the Moonlight Terrace.
Congratulations.
Would you do something for me?
I might.
Would you take Gloria to the same place?
I wouldn't make many friends doing that.
Well, I'd be indebted to you.
Interesting thought. I'll take her.
Thanks so much.
If she'll go.
She'll go. Simply hint that Peter and I will be there.
Isn't it terrible how completely women know each other? I'm going to enjoy this.
See you tonight.
You know, I'm beginning to doubt Peter's judgment. As a client, I have a feeling I should take my business elsewhere. Are you opening your own law office soon?
Perhaps within a few months.
Well, may I offer myself as a client?
And why not?
Good day, Mother.
Goodbye. You hear what he called me? Isn't he nice?
A bit obvious.
Oh, what man isn't he? Where are your stockings?
The clean ones are in the valve pack.
A man's pajamas.
I bought those for Peter in Paris. It was just a little gift. Now put them back.
Don't be so snappy.
Frankly, I'm scared stiff. A date with my own husband, I'm shaking like a schoolgirl.
Have you forgotten what you said in that clipping you sent me from London?
What?
Remember this, said Captain Morley. Every impression you make with your actions, every word you...
Yes, Mother, I know.
Must convince the man that you're the most wonderful woman on earth. Fits like a glove.
Stop giving me my own routines. I hadn't realized how easy it is to advise people and how difficult it is to make the advice work.
Come on, darling. The first time he sees you tonight is so important.
I know.
Now, let's see your entrance into the living room.
Oh, Mother, please. Now I'll be late.
Oh, try it, try it. It'll be time well invested. That first sight of you, completely a woman. Come on.
Now be careful. My nails are wet. Oh, it seems so silly actually rehearsing.
You've told other women to do it. Now, pay attention to yourself. Come on. No, not so stiff. You're not a soldier now.
What do you want me to do?
Like a woman. Well, that's better.
Hello, Peter.
Hello, Mary.
Mother.
Hello, Mother. Glad to see you. Didn't you understand 8 o'clock?
Will you please wait in the other room?
Oh, sure. You sure look funny.
Funny? He said I look funny.
Oh, darling.
such agreement, the following real and personal property shall be divided. One cooperatively owned apartment, Mary. One beach house with location as specified in the Hall of Records. Why don't you go watch Rome burn?
I asked him to come over.
Oh, well, very pretty. Thanks very much. Be seeing you.
Thank you.
Now, let's see. Where were we? Oh, Hall of Records, etc., usual wording. Now, you note that this is very generous. One baby grand piano, Mary. One combination radio and phonograph. One table model radio, Mary. One portable radio, me. One vacuum cleaner, Mary. One washing machine, Mary.
Why don't you wait for the head waiter?
This isn't up his alley. One combination checkers, chess, and backgammon set, me. I didn't think that you'd want the... What's the matter?
My hand went to sleep. Better now, though.
One 4-burner electric stove, Mary. One electric refrigerator, Mary. One set sterling silver, Mary.
Well, Pete Morley.
Oh, Jack.
I suppose all you people have a fair idea.
Mrs. Morley, my wife, I mean, Captain Morley, this is Jack Lindsay. He's a client of mine.
How do you do, Miss Lindsay?
Charming. Charming.
And,
Oh, yes, of course. The Glory of Faye, Captain Morley.
How do you do, Miss Faye?
How do you do?
Well, fancy meeting you here. Oh, yes, Miss Faye, may I present Mr. Peter Morley?
Oh, how do you do?
So happy to know you.
Well, won't you join... I mean, you two have a table of your own,
Yes,
of course.
we must have.
Actually, we haven't.
Really, Jack, these people might like to be alone.
Oh, what can Pete say? After all, I'm his best client. So you're old Pete Morley's wife. I've heard so much about you.
I'll bet you have.
Well, Jack, when did you get in town?
Today.
Well, about the apartment, I'm having a little redecorating done, so if you don't mind...
I have a room at the South Park.
Good. You're lucky.
Well, when does the fur start flying?
Fur?
Fur. Miss Faye means when is somebody going to trip over his own tongue and reveal that Mr. Morley's sitting between Mrs. Morley and his girlfriend?
Touché.
Girlfriend isn't quite the phrase, Mrs. Morley. Ah, I was just being sweet. You are a darling. I feel honored to have won your husband. You know, it's too bad you can't celebrate a moral victory.
Well, now that we all know each other, we can face this situation like grown people. Mary and I have just been looking over the settlement papers. Of course, you and I realize that this involves some sacrifice on her part. You know, her work in the Army as marital relations expert. You and I appreciate that deeply, don't we, darling?
Oh, I'm sure the captain will be able to preserve her reputation. Perhaps in the same mysterious way she obtained it.
Well, thank you. And if there's ever anything I can do for your reputation...
I know. Nothing but the best for Peter. And now he's going to have it.
Tell me, my dear, how did you ever manage to meet him?
Oh, a man without love. Is that difficult?
It depends. In your case, obviously, no.
Oh, it's wonderful to meet such an understanding woman. I was afraid for a moment you might either be an extremely spiteful or very selfish person who would refuse to sign the divorce consent.
Shall we dance?
I told you Mary wasn't the type to stand in anybody's way. Are you, Counselor?
No, not when I face a superior opponent.
Now that she understands the situation, I'm sure she'll sign the papers right away. Won't you, Counselor? You can see the places marked right there for your signature.
Mr. Lindsay, did I hear you ask me to dance?
I must have been thinking out loud.
Excuse us, you lucky people. Is she going to sign, or must we sit here all evening and pick our teeth between insults?
Insults? Oh, I thought you two were getting along beautifully. She'll sign us. We just have to be careful.
Why don't you shoot her?
For a minute, I thought you meant that.
Did you? Quite a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Great idea of yours, bringing her right to the table.
I had confidence in you.
Whether he likes it or not, Peter must be saved from that booby trap.
You mean for yourself.
Is it that obvious?
To me, Peter can't see the end of his nose. He's in love, you know.
Take me home, please.
And leave him with his papers blank?
Come on.
I'll get your jacket and purse.
You will not. Hurry up.
Things could be so lovely. Why don't you give the goof his freedom?
You watch. Now that she's had her little moment, she'll sign the papers without a word. That's just her way.
What would you say if I told you she isn't here?
No. Well, she wouldn't walk out without saying a word. She wouldn't do that to me.
She's doing it to me.
Yeah, but her coat and purse.
You'll take them to her tonight. She knows that. And you know how weak a man can be.
Oh, honey, believe me, there's nothing I want more than to come to you and tell you I'm free. But the way Mary's acting, leaving with a man she just met, something's bothering her.
You don't know what it is?
Have you any idea?
Not the slightest. Stay as sweet as you are.
Thanks so much, Mr. Lindsay. Good night.
Well, I'll take you out.
Oh, no. It's very kind, but I have things to do. Good night.
Is this my reward for risking my best friend's friendship? To be turned out into the night?
Well, perhaps I'll see you again soon. Good night.
Why not now, when you need the comforting advice of an unprejudiced
please,
mind?
some other time. Good night.
I'm very thirsty. Could I please come up and have a glass of water?
There's a fountain right over there. Good night.
Would you like to see this key, Mrs. Morley?
No, thanks. Mine will be returned in a little while. Good night.
Good night, Mrs. Morley.
Bless you. Oh, my. Oh. Counselor.
Who is it? Open Open up. By what right do you take Glory to dinner when I'm out with my wife?
Tell you what. You make a list of all women belonging exclusively to you, and I'll try and get by on what's left. What are you doing here?
Couldn't get a room, so I'm staying with you.
Nice of you to tell me.
I thought you'd have twin beds.
I'll stay way, way over on my side.
Oh, operator? Plaza 51598, please. Yes, thanks.
Hello, Mary, dear. This is your husband. There just happen to be some papers which need your signature before I can be true to my girlfriend.
Now, lay off, will you? If I don't get these papers signed soon, I'm a cooked goose. Glory wouldn't let me. I didn't get a chance to talk to Mary in the apartment tonight.
Already I smell feathers burning. I love these characters who drop in at all hours and start using your telephone.
You always did it to me.
I'm different. I'm your client.
No answer? Oh, thanks.
You know what I think? Unfortunately, I think your wife loves you.
That's what I thought once.
Would you tell me one thing? What does Gloria have that Mary doesn't have?
1 year older.
Now, don't get cute. You know I can take my patronage elsewhere.
What brought you to town, anyway?
Want to bid on some more surplus equipment, heavy machinery. Dies, presses, you know. I'll need your help on legal procedure. Did you hear me?
What?
I said your slip is showing. Hello? Oh.
Pardon me for calling you at this hour, but Mother's gone and I'm here alone.
I'll be right over.
No. What I mean is, I have a million things to do in the morning. Sign in and out, pick up my new orders, go to Governor's Island. Means that I have to get up at 5:30 and there's no alarm clock in the apartment. Would you be so kind as to ask your hotel operator to call me here at that time? 5:30?
I guess it can be done. Hang on. Hello, operator. This is Lindsay in 412. Would you do a very special favor for a dear friend of mine? Tell her, dear. Thanks, operator. You're a darling. And honey. No, I mean the other honey. Goodbye, operator. Honey, remember me when the time is right. I'm a good thing. Good night.
Who was that?
Somebody's wife.
Some poor sap thinks he's got the world by the tail. Move over. Why doesn't a fellow like that get wise to himself?
I'd better not answer that.
This is where she was stationed before she went overseas. She has to be someplace.
Don't worry, my business can wait. I've enjoyed this, particularly Governor's Island at dawn.
I'll be right back.
What about the procedure on interviews? Is it the same as before?
Yes, except one additional question's been added to this form. Number 11. What special...
I wonder if you could tell me what. Well, at last a familiar face. I'm Mr. Morley. I'm Captain Morley's husband. I met you at the boat.
Yes, sir, I know.
I'm trying to track down Captain Morley.
Didn't you know?
Know what?
About Captain Morley's leaving town.
No, I didn't. I've been pretty busy and we just didn't get a chance to... Did she leave something for me?
Yes, sir. This package.
Package? Is this all she left?
This envelope.
That's too little.
Sir?
When did she leave?
She hasn't. She leaves on the North Shore Limited in 5 minutes.
In 5 minutes? Thank you.
Oh, Mr. Morley!
Oh! Thanks. Grand Central Station, fast!
There's an entrance right up the street there.
Huh? Oh, sure. Sorry, Jack. Pay the man. I'll see you later.
Hey, wait! What goes on? Hey, wait, Pete! Wait, Pete! Stop thief! Stop thief! Stop thief! Stop thief! Pete!
He got away, but I got your pajamas.
Thanks.
Sorry, sir, but that's against the rules. That's all right. I won't report you.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Your pajamas. Thanks. You were yelling, "Stop, thief!" Why did you run out on me? Do I have to explain my private life?
Yes. You give the air to a client who's come all the way from Washington on important business.
Oh, now, Jack. I'm in a mess, and you know it. You've got to make allowances. Mary's on this train, and she hasn't signed the divorce consent.
Mary on this train?
Oh. Where are we going? You can get off at the next stop. It's Harmon. And I hope I can, too.
Section 3, Chicago. Section 3, Chicago.
Pardon me, you have a Captain Morley aboard.
Captain Morley. Morley. Brown hair, wavy, clean teeth, beautiful eyes.
Oh, the whack.
Oh, yeah. Drawing room A, this car.
Thank you.
Just a minute. Your tickets, please.
Oh, we didn't have time to buy them. We're just going as far as Harmon.
You take care of it. I paid the cab fare.
All for lights, 9 car forward.
Come in. Oh, no.
Please believe me. If you make any attempt to hold that man, you're making the greatest mistake of your life. Let him go. Sign those papers and get him out of your hair. You're young, and you have a...
Well, speak of the devil.
What were you talking about?
Each other.
I see you got pajamas.
Oh, yes, thanks. I've had quite a time finding you.
Did you try last night?
Oh, that, well, Gloria thought that... I thought maybe you didn't want to be disturbed.
Well, won't you sit down?
Oh, with pleasure.
Cozy, isn't it?
Jack, old man, I realize this is rank impudence on my part, but could I have a word alone with my wife?
If you wish. But I know what you're going to talk about. And as an old friend, I thought I might be of help to you both.
I think we can blunder through alone.
As you sit there looking at him, Mary, just think of sitting there looking at him for the next 50 years. I'll be waiting.
He seems rather fond of you in his small way. He's a good catch. Rich. Now, Counselor, about this...
Too bad I had to leave town in such a hurry. New assignment, advising girls at Fort Sheridan on the art of being happily married. I have to make a stop over at Detroit to address a group. Perhaps you'd be interested.
No, I won't be going that far.
My, there seem to be so many misunderstandings these days. So many marriages breaking up for no tangible reason.
Well, that's life. Counselor...
People shouldn't give up so easily. A marriage should be given every possible chance to survive.
Yes, you're right. I'm glad we did it that way.
But we didn't. We made no attempt to save our marriage. Think what it would have meant if one of us had gone to the other and said, "Dear, there are difficult days ahead. If we believe in each other, if we have faith, we can ride the storm."
Storm? Sitting across from each other at the office all day and then going home to sit across from each other at the dinner table and ask each other what's new? You call that a storm?
Now you're being honest with me, and that's what I want to hear. Sit down. Now tell me, was there anything else wrong?
Well, the little fact that you suggested we separate.
Do you know what I'd do if I had that moment to live over again?
What?
Harmon. Next stop, Harmon.
Already? Pardon me. Pardon me.
Saved you from yourself, didn't I?
Someday I'm going to saw you in half.
I know it sounds strange, honey, but this morning she wasn't at her apartment, or at Fort Dix, or at headquarters. Yeah, and then this train thing came up, and Oh, sure. Yes, I will, honey. Yeah, well, believe me, by the time we get to Poughkeepsie, I'll have her signed and unsealed.
What?
Yes, honey, I will. Yeah, honey. Well, well, honey, the train's leaving. Yeah, well, honey, I've got to hurry. Yes, I will. Well, honey, there she goes. Yeah, yes, I will. Yeah, goodbye.
Thank you.
Oh. Violating the rules again, eh? You're going to get caught one of these days.
Yes, thank you.
This train's making better time than I am. One to Poughkeepsie. Why didn't you get off?
I came to New York on business. If I'm willing to let your pleasure interfere, please don't look a gift horse in the mouth.
I wish you weren't such a good client.
Dear. Who is it?
Peter. I'll be out in a minute.
Them that has, gets.
Oh, Mary, I just talked to...
I thought I'd put on something comfortable.
Oh.
After all, husband and wife.
I just talked to Gloria. I promised her that by the time we got to Poughkeepsie, I'd have the divorce consent signed and start back to New York. You have the divorce papers? If you haven't, I have carbon copies.
I have them. Well, I must say you're getting a beautiful woman.
Thanks.
Surprising she's never married before.
Oh, she has.
Well, husband passed away.
No, divorced.
I wonder why.
I don't know. I never asked her.
Did she ever ask about us?
Yes.
I won't ask you what you told her.
Well, actually, I told her you were a swell guy. And she and I agreed that what a husband needs isn't a swell guy. Of course, I explained to her that this wasn't true when we were first married.
Oh, thank you.
As a matter of fact, I didn't dare tell her how much of a woman you really were. Before you became such a darn good lawyer.
Then you do remember.
Who could forget?
I did for quite a while, and then, well.
Well?
May I come in, ma'am?
But we're busy. I mean, can't you wait?
This is life or death, practically, ma'am. The gentleman outside told me all about you.
Mr. Lindsay.
Yes, ma'am. About you helping people's marriages that are about to go to pieces. And that's exactly what's happening to me, ma'am. Something terrible.
I'll be right outside.
Oh, no, don't go, please. Corporal, this is my husband, Mr. Morley.
How do you do, sir?
How do you do?
I'm Corporal Michaels, ma'am. My husband's sitting right out there, and I'm sure I can get him to come in.
Corporal, can't this matter possibly wait until later?
By Poughkeepsie, we leave the train, separated forever. I'll hurry.
Oh, dear.
Counselor, I seem to be getting more involved in this than I...
Here he is, ma'am.
Stop shoving.
Harold Michaels.
This is my husband, Mr. Morley. Mr. Michaels.
Pleasure.
Won't you sit down?
I think it'd probably be better if I waited outside.
No, please. Sit down. Now, I want both of you to feel perfectly free to tell me about yourselves and about each other. In that manner, we can get to the bottom of things and correct any misunderstanding.
Well, there's no misunderstanding. I know what I'm doing. I wasn't just born yesterday.
Or the day before.
But everything was fine before I went overseas.
It wasn't fine.
But it seemed fine, and when I got back yesterday on the boat, there he was, waiting to tell me that he didn't want me anymore. He met the boat to tell me that.
The way you tell it, you make me sound like a heel. She doesn't tell you anything about what happened before.
Why don't you tell us, Mr. Michaels?
I will. I'll bust the case wide open. When we first got married, we were happy, see? And then came the war. So the draft board calls me in. Am I complaining? No, I go right down. I'm ready to get shot at, dig a ditch, or fly a plane. Punctured eardrum, 4F. So what happens?
What?
My wife, my own wife, decides to make me look like a perfect dope. With me in civilian clothes, she joins the whacks.
Well, why shouldn't she be away? Well, what makes you think she joined to spite you?
A husband knows those things, see? It's intuitive.
Your wife joined the whacks for the same reason mine did, to help finish a war.
Can you prove it?
Would a wife in love try to destroy her own marriage? Well, right now, your wife is doing everything in her power to hold you.
Well, sure. She's had her fun. Now she's ready to settle down.
What do you mean by that?
While I stayed home and worked my fingers to the bone, where was she? Overseas, with millions of men, soldiers. Everybody knows about service women overseas.
Look, Junior, one more idiotic crack by you and I'll knock your teeth out.
Hold me back,
Stop
honey.
it. I'll talk to him. Sit down. Sit down. I'll talk to him. Please, down, Mr. Michaels. Now, it's quite understandable that a man whose wife is away could let his imagination get a little out of hand. I also know that there was plenty of malicious rumor and hearsay about women in uniform. But those are things from which a real man defends his wife. Through no fault of yours, you weren't in uniform, but fortunately, you had a wife who could help. You should be proud of her.
How did you feel about your wife being in uniform?
Well, like she says, proud.
You mean you weren't, jealous about her being away from home? All those soldiers?
Oh, well, maybe, but little personal feelings were so unimportant with the war on.
There's something else to consider, Mr. Michaels. If your wife was a good wife before she went into uniform, you're due for a very pleasant surprise. The Army will return her to you a better wife, tenfold.
What did the Army do to her?
Well, it's just something that can't be explained. You have to experience it to realize what I mean. Well, what do you say? Will you give that marriage another trial?
Well, of course, it would be a little silly to bust up before, Besides, a man should give his wife a chance to prove that the Army hasn't changed her, or has changed her.
Oh, honey, I promise you'll never be sorry for this. I'm so happy. You're wonderful.
Oh, no, I'm not. I'm just being fair.
Oh, thank you so much, ma'am, and bless you both.
Stop shoving, dear.
Thank you.
What a character. And she loves him.
Yes. That's the way women are. Thanks so much for your help. I hadn't realized how you felt about certain things.
I should apologize for losing my head. It's a good thing we weren't pleading a case.
Yes.
That thing you said about this fella getting a surprise when he finds out what the Army does for a woman.
Oh, that.
Well, what is it?
Do you really want to know?
Would anybody be interested in a farewell look at Poughkeepsie?
Poughkeepsie? I promised Gloria that by Poughkeepsie I'd... Counselor, you can save me a lot of trouble if you sign those papers right now.
I think we're going about this matter in a very sensible way. You'll get those papers in due time.
But I promised her that by Poughkeepsie I'll be right back.
You'll thank me someday.
That is a moment I hope I don't live to see.
The career of martyr is a thankless one.
Mr. Lindsay, just what is it you expect from me?
You?
Young man, you are trying to interfere with destiny. Out! Out! Out!
Hello, Gloria. Listen, honey, let me say first that you haven't a thing to worry about. Well, I'm in Poughkeepsie. I know, honey, but things keep happening. Oh, no, of course not. By things happening, I mean interference from other people. Well, now, please, Gloria, please. Well, you can't just do that, just walk out of my life right in the middle of everything. Go on, beat it. Oh, no, not you, honey. Now, please, Gloria. Now, please don't make any snap decisions. I'll be back just as soon as... Hello. Hello, Gloria. What do you want?
The train. It's gone.
Gone? Why didn't you say something?
I tried to, in my half-hearted way.
Gloria doesn't think I'm trying. Said goodbye and then hung up on me.
What'd you expect her to say? Hello? Let's have some coffee while we plan your next move.
Next move? Do you realize that the way things stand now, I can't win?
You'll win, or I'll die trying.
Come in. Come in.
Oh, pardon me, miss. But that gentleman friend that kept getting on and on.
What about him?
Was Poughkeepsie as far as he was going?
Where is he?
Poughkeepsie?
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
Perfect. Mary's stopover in Detroit gives us plenty of time to get back to LaGuardia and beat her to Chicago by plane. She can't possibly get there before tomorrow night. Our problem's solved.
Nothing's solved. Mary isn't going to give me a divorce until she's ready, and Gloria won't wait. You say things were never better.
You'd have no trouble with Gloria if you could go to her with the divorce signed. And you can persuade Mary to sign the consent if you'll quit using your hands and start using your head.
I wish I were like you. It'd be so easy to kill myself.
Drink that coffee while I lend you my mind. Consider your ignorant procedure up to now. You've tried to have your wife divorce you by turning on your charm like a cover boy. So the more you're around her, the more she wonders if she should let you go.
I know, Mary. You can't get anything from her by hitting her over the head.
All right. You also must know if there's a certain type of man she can't stand. A type of man who'd be her pet hate.
You mean if I should show up in Chicago transformed into one of those characters that drive Mary to drink?
She'd hand over that divorce consent like it was a hot potato.
Oh, no, Mary's too smart. She'd see through that.
You can also see through water, but people swallow it. Believe me, if you're as repulsive, as I'm sure you can be, It won't matter to her whether you're acting or simply reverting to type.
Maybe it would work. If I could get her burned up enough.
That's the spirit. Pour it on. Make her so sick of you that the very mention of your name will make her gag. Well, let's get going while you're still revolting.
It's wonderful of you, Jack, to help me like this. So unselfish. Like a bat borrowing blood.
Poor Mary. How she'll hate you in Chicago.
There she is, Captain Morley.
Watch your step there. Watch your step.
Billy, Captain Morley, how are you? I'm fine. Good. Genevieve. Oh, you made Captain.
Oh, you look wonderful. You've gained...
We'd like a picture, Captain Morley.
Have not, certainly. Major.
Cheever is my name, Captain. You should be quite busy at Fort Sheridan. As you can see, your reputation has preceded
Do
you.
you mind standing up on a step, Captain?
Said we can fire a few questions, Captain. What is your advice to a whack with an unhappy husband?
Or boyfriend. We future civilians are relying on you to show us how to hang on to our men.
Captain.
Well, I'm a married woman, and I know a married woman's problems. I don't say I know all the answers, but generally speaking, a woman's greatest aid in readjustment will be tolerance.
Smile, Captain.
You mean close your eyes and pretend everything's all right?
I didn't say that. A woman who won't fight to hold a good man doesn't deserve him. Of course, the ideal marriage is based on trust and faith. It develops with gentleness and dignity.
Now.
Surprise!
Peter!
Yahoo! A white woman!
No! Peter!
All we had in the Pacific was coconuts.
That's her husband, folks. Stand back. Stand back. That's her husband, folks.
Peter, please.
Hey, what is this? Can't a man kiss a little woman without drawing flies? Go on, scram. I'm Mr. Mary Morley, folks, attorney at law. If you ever get in a jam, drop up and see me. My card, bud. Here's my card. You press whistles out, will you? Look out, Vinny! Here comes that man again!
He's been away, Peter, please, so long.
Mr. Morley, pardon me for interrupting, Mr. Morley, but we must get back to Fort Sheridan. Come along, Captain.
Oh, but I've got reservations at the hotel. Can't you give the little woman a break, huh, Major?
Oh, with your permission, Major, please, just this one evening. There are a few things that have to be ironed out.
Ironed out, she says.
Well, if you wish.
Oh, we have a staff car right outside. Shall we drop you at the hotel?
Well, what are we waiting for? Come on, Gertrude.
My luggage, now, please.
Oh, Jack, take care of the little woman's luggage, will you? Come on, Major.
Mr. Morley.
Huh?
Mr. Morley.
What do I?
What's the man's slant on this hanging on to a husband?
Oh, that's a cinch. The way for a lady to hang on to her husband is to refuse to let him go.
My husband fancies himself a wit.
Yeah.
With a Major.
You know, you'll be surprised how well that works out. I know because it happened to a friend of mine. Of course, this friend finally shot his wife and had to go to prison for life, but at least he feels free. Murder, huh?
What's your idea on the ideal marriage, Morley?
What's that, Sheriff?
I say, what's your idea on the ideal marriage?
Well, I know my wife's routine. She says the ideal marriage is based on faith and trust. Of course, that means faith in your opinion of your husband and trust that he won't find out.
I trust that you gentlemen will be discreet in your report of this situation.
What the Major means is she hopes you'll think I'm nuts, eh, Major? What's the matter, Major? You ticklish? So I'm sitting there alone, see? Then I say to myself, how about hopping a plane to Chicago for a second honeymoon? You know, demonstrate what she's trying to prove. Help the little ball and chain's professional standing.
My husband's so understanding, and he's so unselfish about my work.
So I hop a plane, and here I am, old Ever Ready himself. You know, it reminded me of a story of the traveling salesman. Seems it was raining, see, and his car broke down.
Mr. Morley, I must remind you there are ladies present.
Major, correction. You're soldiers. You know, the trouble with women in uniform is they can't figure out what they are. Reminds me of the story of the gopher and the kangaroo.
Mr. Morley.
Is there such a story? How about a little smackaroo, kid? These gals must know about the bees.
How far do you intend to go?
How far? Tell her, Major. No. Well, here we are. Oh, come on up, all of you. I want you to see the surprise I got for the little woman.
I think we've had enough surprises, Mr. Morley.
Yes, they have to get back to the post, and you must have had a hard day somewhere.
Oh, they'd never forgive themselves if
Yes,
they
they
didn't come
would.
up. Come on.
Maybe we'd better go up.
For Mary's sake.
Mary, wait till you get a load of this. It'll kill you.
Actually, there's no need, Major.
That's quite all right, Captain.
I knew they'd see it my way. Women always do. Come on, honey. How am I doing? Did I tell you the story about the skunk and the stubborn mule?
The baggage belongs to Captain Morley.
I'll tell you how I figured this thing, Major. The little woman's been overseas for a couple of years and had a lot of dreams about doing things up brown when she got back. Well, I'm the kind of a guy that knows how to make those dreams come true. You know what I mean. So I flashed little letters around town and came up with this. Entrez-vous. This is what you've been dreaming about in those foxholes. Look at that. Come on in, kid. You'll love it. You'll love it. Well, how do you like it? The bridal suite, the booby trap. This is it, kid. Now step right in closer, folks. The two-bit tour starts immediately. Note the French pictures on the wall, all done by lean artists in silk pajamas while drinking creme d'amour. And in each and every corner, an overstuffed love seat drenched in rare perfumes. Smell 'em, Major. That's all, just a whiff. Lamps shedding filtered moonlight on chilled champagne. And over here, a cabinet filled with rare liqueurs, distilled from stewed poets. Now, here you are, son.
Thank you, sir.
How much I give you?
$10.
10 bucks. Loaded. And now... Of this we do not speak. We close our eyes and listen to the echoes of 1,000 whispers. Our little cheeks turn a fiery red as we tiptoe on a carpet of goose pimples.
Period. Darling, my friends are simply fascinated, but they have a long drive ahead. You forgive them, won't you?
Well, now they know. Life's life and they gotta live it.
And you wait right here.
Captain, I don't think you should stay here.
Oh, it's all right. He was in the Pacific, you know, on a little hot rock.
Oh. Please remember that there are quarters available to you on the post.
In case of an emergency. Yes. Mary, I'm just beginning to realize how much courage it took to carry out your wonderful work.
You're sweet.
I don't see how you could bear up.
Hey, Mary! You brought him! That's the kind of little woman I like. Thinks of everything. How do you like him, Major? Liberated in Paris for a night in Chicago.
The lady for just saying good night, dear.
Oh, leaving us in that privacy we so richly deserve, huh? Drop up any time, Major. Draw up a love seat. Any friend of my wife must have a friend of her own. You know, that reminded me of a story about the milkman and the three maids. It seems they would...
Good night, Major.
You're on
See
here.
you tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Tomorrow, she says, with the evening so young.
Good night, Captain.
Good night. Good night, girls. Well, alone at last.
Yes.
I know you're ready to cut my throat, but...
Peter, kiss me.
Huh?
You've become the most fascinating man I've ever met.
Oh,
Kiss
no,
me.
no, honest, I'm supposed to be revolted.
I hadn't the faintest notion that there was this other you, the strong, possessive type.
Oh, but Mary, believe me, it was just an act.
I don't care what it was. You swept me completely off my feet. This changes everything. Kiss me.
Oh, no, now, Mary, please.
Oh, well, it's all right, dear. I won't rush things. I can wait.
But, Counselor, we have to talk. Counselor? Counselor, please. Just the guy I'm looking for.
Well, how are we doing?
How are we doing? You and your tired ideas. Mary says that I'm the most fascinating character she's ever met. She's fallen in love with that goon you turned me into.
That's impossible. You'd know it immediately if you could take a good look at yourself.
Thanks for the compliment. Well, I give up. I'm going back to New York.
And what are you going to say to Gloria?
Well, I'll just tell her that... Well, I won't have to tell her anything. I'll just listen.
Pete, are you out of your mind? You can't leave now. Not with victory just around the corner.
Victory? I'm up to my ears in victory. And what does it get me? Heartburn.
Now, Pete, I don't care what Mary said. She's on the verge of breaking. One more smart move will do it.
Like what?
Go back into that bridal suite and ignore her.
Ignore her?
That's the final blow to her pride. That's the one move that will give you your freedom.
You always sound so convincing and you never make sense. You can see through water, but you swallow what he said.
Believe me, you're upset. You're a confused man.
How right you are.
You've almost won your battle and you don't know it. Now, get in there and do as I say.
But how do you ignore someone who's locked in a bedroom?
That door is going to open. And you know what to do then.
Ignore her.
Check.
Peter? Come in?
I thought it was locked.
I thought you were asleep.
There's somebody ringing the bell. I think maybe you'd better answer it.
Let it ring.
But it's probably those three whacks worried about you.
Let them worry. I want to talk to you for a minute, Peter. Come here.
But I'm supposed to ignore... I mean...
Sit down, Peter. I've been doing a lot of thinking about us and your willingness to do anything to get your freedom.
I practically had to.
Belittling my work to the newspapers, embarrassing me in front of my fellow officers.
I guess maybe I overdid it.
But what hurts most is seeing you making a fool of yourself to get rid of me. I've only tried to hold you because I loved you, but if this is what it's doing to you... I've signed them.
Well, Counselor, I wish things hadn't... I mean...
Oh, brother.
Hello, Gloria.
Pardon the intrusion, but when people refuse to answer their doorbell...
Well, this is a completely innocent situation, Miss Faye.
Yes, completely innocent. We thought you were three other people.
Naturally. Mrs. Morley, I imagine you expect me to fly into a tantrum, but I'm not that kind. And let me tell you, you're the worst loser I've ever met.
Gloria...
I came here to take this man away from your unfortunate influence. And the fact that I find him in rather unusual circumstances doesn't alter my decision one bit.
Gloria...
You're a very noble woman, and I'm happy that my husband's getting a mentality of such stature.
I could punch your nose for that.
Gloria, Mary signed the papers.
Oh? Oh! Well, get into your clothes.
Gloria, Mary's been very sweet about this. I know you want to thank her.
Well, that's not necessary. Goodbye, Peter.
Maybe we should go upstairs and see if she's all right.
Oh, what if she is all right? We look like a couple of idiots.
Who could be all right alone with that man?
client.
Client. Bridal suite on the double. Sorry, Captain.
Oh, it's you again. Go away.
An old friend of the family can come in handy at a time like this. Stop pacing about.
But I've got a perfectly good pace coming to me. What do you expect me to do, break down and cry?
Exactly. That's what you want to do, isn't it?
You're mean.
You'll feel so much better. Come on.
But I won't.
Come on now.
I just...
Cry.
I guess we've been away too long.
Here much longer, we're going to miss that train. Do you really read these old law books?
Oh, sure. Almost every night.
That's going to be something to look forward to.
That was me right there. That's Mary.
What else, mister?
Well, these books and, let's see. Oh, one combination checkers, chess, and backgammon set.
We have that. How about the piano?
Well, that's Mary's.
The couch?
Mary.
The silver?
Mary.
And we get the combination chess, checkers, and backgammon set. Somebody in this family's a smart lawyer.
All that matters, honey, is our future together. Poor Mary.
Why do you say poor Mary?
Well, being so upset and all. You know, I think she's falling for that walking gold mine.
What a horrible fate. Marry a millionaire. What else is wrong with Jack besides his money?
Well,
yes. What else is wrong with me?
Oh, hello, Jack. How's my best client?
I wouldn't know. My account's been transferred to Attorney Mary Morley.
Cut my future husband off in the middle of a job? You can't do that to us.
I know where my bread is buttered. Where is she?
She's in the bedroom. But you'll have to wait because the door is locked.
How did you find out?
Gloria checked. Where are you going tonight?
The panel room. Quite exclusive. I'm sure you've never been there.
What makes you so sure?
Mary told me.
Anything else besides the books, mister?
No, I guess that's all.
It's Jackie, dear.
I'll be right out.
It's Jackie, dear.
Well, thank you. Hello, Jack.
Hello.
Oh, Peter, you shouldn't make Gloria work so hard. Look at her. By the way, when are you leaving for Reno with old Hubba here? Tonight. So sweet of you to ask.
Counselor, I wish you'd get the divorce. I feel so silly.
You are?
The pleasure's all yours, Peter.
How about a grown man going to Reno?
But isn't that what men always wanted? Equal rights with women?
Are you going to pose for the newspapers with your legs crossed?
We're wasting our time. Now that you have your games and old books, let's leave the lady lawyer with her spoils. I take it that you're not satisfied with the property settlement. Oh, it's no concern of mine, but I hate to see a man cheated out of his rightful share. May I remind you, Miss Fay, that the property division was suggested by my husband and that I didn't request a single change.
Why should you? Peter simply paid those workmen to remove your junk.
Junk?
Let's not make an issue of it, honey. I'm perfectly satisfied.
Speaking of junk, Peter, did you show her the family skeletons?
Oh, you wouldn't be interested.
That, Miss Fay, is the domestic institution known as the skeleton closet. Behind this door lie the bleached bones of the Morley marriage. What are you up to now?
If I were you, I instinctively wouldn't ask that. You'll be sorry.
Wally, idiotic. How on earth do you associate this rubbish with your marriage? These items should reveal a great deal to you about your future, Miss Fay.
Bleached bone, she says.
Quite a bone.
All right, answer me this.
Honestly, the salesman told me it'd make a wonderful present for a big, strong man.
Yeah, what did it do for me? Gave me an inferiority complex.
I know you won't believe me, Peter, but it didn't matter a bit to me that you couldn't lift it.
Didn't matter. I wish you could have seen the look on your face when I straightened up. Without it, something seemed to snap inside me.
Naturally. Hernia. Any doctor could have warned you.
You see how important something trivial can become in a marriage. The fact that Peter couldn't lift that barbell caused a major change in his attitude toward me, and that in turn caused a change in my attitude. So the barbell dragged its little attitude into the closet and locked the door. Utterly fascinating.
Do you mean to say that you can't lift this?
Is your tone implying you can?
Almost unbelievable that a man your size... What's in it? Glue?
You couldn't lift it even if you had the strength. I'll show you how it's supposed to be done.
You've done it, after all these years.
Yeah, look straight up. You can't talk and lift at the same time. I wonder why I can lift it now.
Say, the Army must have done something for you.
Yeah. Hey, you know the silliest one of all?
Yes, the time I threw your love letters in there because you hadn't saved mine.
No. This.
The music box. You call that silly?
It had a practical function, too. It held cigarettes.
Amazing. I gave that to him on our first anniversary. Did without a permanent to get it.
Yeah, it played a tune when you opened the lid.
They usually do.
It was Mary's favorite song. She said it reminded her of our honeymoon in a little rooming house.
Then you broke it.
No, but it wasn't deliberate. I simply said the tune didn't remind me of our honeymoon.
All right. So politely I asked, how did you break it?
Well, Mary asked me what did the tune remind me of, and, well, you know how people clown. I took the box like this, and I started doing a little spring dance like this. Why is my heart dancing?
He'd had 4 martinis when he started.
3.
I warned him he'd break the box if he didn't stop, but he said, what if he did?
You.
Oh, my goodness,
I guess I've seen everything.
hurt?
Well, I'm not dead.
Well, get up and see if you're all together.
This is exactly what happened before.
We're getting out of here while you still have a head on your body. Oh, I'm sorry I ever opened that door.
That was my prediction.
Oh, it's too bad about the box, Constable.
It was broken anyway.
Well, I'll have it fixed. I wanted to have it fixed before, but it got to be such an issue.
I guess we both acted like children. A miracle. You fixed it.
Yeah. Guess all it needed was a little shaking up.
Yes.
Remind me not to have him fix my watch.
Well, it almost came true.
I wish I could convince you that it wasn't so important to me, Mary.
But you wanted one.
Yeah, so what? We could have talked it over and maybe... Well, people do adopt babies.
Babies? Peter Morley, you're acting like a hypnotized stooge. Have you forgotten that this woman makes a business of trying to force unhappy people to remain together? And she's up to her neck in her job right now.
Gloria, maybe if we discussed
There's
this...
nothing to discuss. The divorce consent is signed and delivered. And you've asked me in all sincerity to become your wife.
Shall we leave, Jack?
I'd like nothing better.
Well, have a good time.
Here. Let me straighten your tie. I know these situations are always difficult, but you'll get over it. Be the happiest man in the world.
Yes, honey.
Now, we better not miss that train.
Yes, honey.
Oh, dog. Thank you.
No trouble at all. All the way?
All the way.
Down we go. Up, down, down, up. Pretty monotonous, huh? Somebody ought to invent an elevator that goes sideways. Reminds me of a story that was told to me by my sister who lives in California's husband. The guy says, every time I get to the place, it'll kill you. The guy, he said, I can't tell it in front of a lady, though. That's the trouble, isn't it?
Why, Peter!
Hey, you were right. I'm beginning to feel like my old self again.
Self?
On Torino!
Don't they know that tune's supposed to be gay?
Just ignore them. Mary, could you give me a little encouragement for the future? Could you say, Jack, old fellow, you look like the type of man who'd treat a wife right.
I wonder if Peter caught the train.
I don't claim I'm the ideal man. Wealthy, yes. Handsome, perhaps. Charming disposition.
This way, please.
Sorry, monsieur, no table.
Oh, but I'm not going to stay. I'm just looking for my wife.
I'm sure your wife wouldn't be here, monsieur. There are also rules regarding dress.
Oh, but I'm just...
No one is admitted without dinner clothes. Sorry, monsieur. Mademoiselle, Monsieur Hellingsworth. This way, please.
Thank you.
Out of my way, chums, I'm dynamite! Okay, calm, everybody. It's just the house detective. You're with your own wife. Just relax. I'll kill you! Bill, both of you! Mary, where are you, Mary?
Peter, here I am. Oh, no, he's that man again.
I had to do this to get you. Take me back, Mary. I don't want a divorce. I love you.
Let him alone.
You and your fancy clothes. Isn't there a man in the crowd?
He's
Is this the way you treat a veteran?
Let him go.
I'm a vet. What's wrong? While I was overseas, that rat stole my wife.
Oh, yeah? That's the same deal I got.
I did not. He was already back.
Geronimo!
Good work, Joe.
That ought to calm him down.
Come on, Bart. You're under arrest.
But this isn't the man. There he is.
What happened to Gloria?
It worked with her, too. Old Mr. Repulsive himself.
Stand where you are. One more move and we'll sue. This is a rank violation of constitutional rights.
To say nothing of imposition of mental duress and attempted false arrest.
You're going to pay through the nose for this.
Don't you know better than to try unlawful detention?
Ladies and gentlemen, the management has deliberately created a breach of the peace leading to riot. My husband and I will be glad to handle your case.
Here, pass these cards out, will you, Joe?
Morley and Morley, see us for a square deal.
Thanks for the use of the hall.
All right, back to your posts, everybody. All right, back to your posts, back to your posts. What was the trouble, sir?
I created a monster, and it bit me.
Counselor, what does the Army do for a woman? Tell me again.